Okay, we are going to create a quiz assignment in Google Classroom. I am in my Google Classroom, and I'm going to come up here to create, and I'm going to choose a quiz assignment. I'm choosing a quiz assignment because I want Google Classroom to grade this for me. So I'm going to choose quiz assignment, and it's going to open up. So you're going to notice, I just have to name it, that it is automatically going to populate a blank quiz. Now I can open this blank quiz from here, and I can go straight into my Google Drive and I can customize this quiz. Or if I already have a quiz, I can X that out and add the quiz from my drive that I've already created, which is what I'm going to do. It'll pop up. There's my quiz, and I'm going to insert it. So I want to make sure that my grade importing is on. I want to make sure that my points here match the points of my quiz. And my quiz is going to be worth 20 points. And then I want to give it a due date and time and a topic. So I'm going to leave my topic empty here, but I'm also going to now go into my quiz from here and show you how to make sure your quiz is set up as well. So here is my quiz that I've started, and I put in some questions just for ideas for you. And you can see that I also have made my questions required, but I haven't gone and made it a quiz yet. I haven't done that. So I'm going to come up here to my settings, and I always go through my settings and I can decide what I want. I don't want my students to submit so they aren't able to. I can give them a customized confirmation message if I want to. I don't want to show the link to submit another response, but here I'm going to come in and I'm going to make this a quiz. So I want to make sure that this is a quiz. I want to later, after manual review, I do not want my students to see missed answers, correct answers, or point values. Later after manual review means that your students will not see their grade. It means that you'll be able to grade this in Google Classroom. You can import the grades from your form into Google Classroom, but then if you wanted to make any adjustments, you could. And your students will receive their grade when you return the grade from Google Classroom. I'm going to hit save. Okay, so first name, there is not an answer key. I've added time you start your test because when a student submits a test, a quiz, you automatically get a timestamp of the submission. So if you ask them what time they started, it just gives you an idea of how long they've spent taking your quiz. It's just one more way in our virtual community that we can see how long students are spending. I'm actually going to delete this because we don't need that question. I also have my student ID, my 7-digit number. Some of us don't want to import from Google Classroom into Aries, and this is one of the ways that you can do it a different way, but that will become a different video. So here are my questions, and I have to come in. First, I want to make sure everything's required. This is just a safety so that your students don't accidentally skip a question. But I want to create my answer key. So I want to make my answer key and I want to give points. And I want to say done. I also here, under my 3 dots, can shuffle my option order, which I want to do so that different students get different questions. I'm going to come into my SIG alert question. I'm going to give it, I'm going to give my answer key. I'm going to make it worth 5. And I'm going to shuffle my options. I'm going to come in here. So I'm just going to move down and make sure that I've done that for each one. It's actually wine, for those of you who didn't know. And again, and our last question is San Francisco. And I'm making sure I give 5 points because I made my quiz worth 20. And you want to make sure that you give the points that is going to match what you put in your Google Classroom. So now I am set to go. So I have some other options here. If I want to post this, but I do not want my students to respond or have access to it until they hit my classroom, I have two options there. From my Google Classroom, which is where my form is, I can lock it. So now if my students click on that, it will actually give them this message. You can't access this quiz until you uncheck it. So if you want to post this on your classroom, you can lock it this way. And then when you're ready to give the test, you can just unlock it and they'll have access to it. So now that I have it all ready to go, I would come up here and I would hit assign. I can also schedule it, but I'm going to hit assign. And that is how you create a quiz with Google Classroom.